What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be continuing my foundation series, but before we get into that, I want to go ahead and encourage you guys to click the subscribe button that will be right here, just so you guys can be notified of my new videos and all of that, and you can just join this really fun family. I know I've gotten a lot of great responses for this particular series, so by subscribing to my channel, you actually have a hand in seeing what type of material that I'm going to produce on this channel, because I always try to listen to my subscribers about things that they want to see on my channel and deliver. So go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can join this family. So today we're going to be trying out a drugstore foundation. We're going to be trying the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation along with the primer, or a primer that Milani has. This is the Prime Shield Face Primer. It's supposed to mattify and pore minimize, and it's also oil free. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this one and then go off camera, do my brows, and then come back on and tell you guys about the foundation a little bit more. So in terms of this primer, it says apply to clean skin, use alone or under any makeup to extend the wear. It's supposed to prime the skin to create a smooth canvas before applying any foundation. It mattifies and perfects skin. It also instantly minimizes the appearance of pores and fine lines. It's supposed to be lightweight, non-greasy feel, and does not clog pores. So we're gonna try it. It's just this nice little matte container here, and you get 0.68 fluid ounces. It's just like a nice little clear consistency, and I put just probably like, I don't know, a dime size, pea size amount on my hand, and I'm gonna rub it in. I think I'm gonna focus it more so in my T-zone where I get the oiliest, and then like the excess I'll fan it out a little bit more. So it does feel silicone like a lot of other primers do, and it already made my skin feel super smooth, so I do like that. It just feels like silk. I'm more so using this just for the mattifying purposes of it, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to really speak to the pores too much. I do have like slight pores on my, like right around my nose here. So we'll see if it does anything. I'm actually going to let this sit for a little bit while I do my eyebrows. I always recommend that if you guys use a primer, well, you should use a primer. That's the first thing I recommend. You should definitely always use a primer underneath your foundation and things like that. And if you do, or when you use a primer underneath your foundation, you should always let it just sit so it can soak into the skin a lot more, because if you put your foundation on right after you do the primer, it's going to be sliding all over the place. So you want that primer to be able to just like kind of settle and melt into your skin, so it's not too slippery, it's not going to move once you actually go in with your foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows and come right back. Okay, you guys, so I'm back. I've allowed the primer to settle in a little bit and did what I could with these eyebrows. So now we're going to go in and talk about the foundation. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. It's got this nice little glass bottle. Now, I already see something that I don't like about the packaging of this is the fact that I don't think this is actually see-through. I feel like they just have coloring on the bottle because you have this whole gradient effect, and I'm pretty sure the foundation doesn't stop right here where the black starts. So I'm not really loving that as much, but you do have this nice glass bottle. It is 1 fluid ounce, and you also get a pump. Y'all know I love pumps on foundations because you can get every last drop of that foundation out. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and read the claims of this on the Milani website so you guys can know what this foundation is actually supposed to do. So the website says that this foundation is supposed to combat under eye circles, redness, and other skin imperfections with this full coverage, water resistant foundation plus concealer in one. A no mess, no drip pump dispenses just the right amount of fluid needed to achieve a flawless look and works around the clock to keep skin looking naturally perfect. And it seems on the website here that there are 14 shades. In stores, they actually don't have all of these shades, which is a little bit disheartening because it took me a long time just to find this shade, and I think this is my perfect shade, but I went to a few places actually to try to find this particular color, and I have 10, which is golden tan. I had to actually go to CVS and pay more for this particular one because I know in other places it's $9.99 as well as on the Milani website, but this cost me about, I want to say $13.99 maybe. I'll annotate it and put it in the description box below, like the ranges in terms of the prices. So with every one of my foundation reviews, we are going to be using 2 tools to blend out the foundation. I'm going to use my beauty blender on one side and my Morphe M439 brush on the other side, just so you guys can see how the foundation works with each one of these, if it's the same, if it's better with one or the other. So let's go ahead and get started. So on the back of my ashy hand, because I did not put on lotion, I just washed them for this, I'm going to pump out 1 pump, which actually gives you a good amount of product, and it's really, really thick. So I am expecting this to definitely be full coverage. So I think I might just need 1 pump on one half of my face, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go in and just dot it all over my face and see what happens. So going in with my beauty blender, it is damp. You always want to use a damp beauty blender when blending out foundation, just so you get that nice seamless look to it, and it also distributes the product a lot better. So I'm just going to go in and pounce on it. Now that's just one layer. The color does look, it looks good. It doesn't look ashy like the other past 2 foundation reviews that I did where the color just wasn't warm enough. I can definitely still see some of my hyperpigmentation kind of peeking through right here where it looks a little bit darker than the rest of my skin tone. But overall, like, this blemish right here is pretty much all the way covered up, which is good. I feel like the beauty blender sheared it out a little bit so it doesn't look as full coverage as I was expecting it to. But I think, I don't know if I'm going to build it up or what. I think I might go in with 1 more coat just to build it up a little bit. So I'm just going to do a half a pump this time to go over some of the areas of my face. I feel like that built it up a little bit more, not a lot more, but a little bit more. So with the rest of that, half pump I just did, I'm going to take it on the other end of my beauty blender and focus it underneath my eyes just to see if it's actually going to conceal my dark circles. Okay, to me it looks like it did conceal them a good bit. I don't feel like it fully concealed them as I was expecting it to, but it covered it up for the most part. I feel like it's more of that natural type of look underneath, because it's definitely a lot darker over here than it is on this side where I applied, I can never talk, where I applied the foundation. So it does look a little bit concealed, but not completely. And I can still kind of see this blemish a little bit. It's not fully covered. So just like I did with the other side, I went ahead and dotted a little bit of the foundation all over my skin. And we're going to go in with the M439 brush and just buff that out. I've just applied the foundation on this side with the Morphe brush, and I feel like it definitely gave me more coverage with little product. Like, I didn't even have to do another half pump, and I didn't even use the full pump that I put on the back of my hand. So I'm definitely, as a first impression, liking the Morphe brush. Applying it with the Morphe brush a lot better. Okay, so this is what the foundation's looking like as a clean slate with nothing else on my face. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so I am back. I finished the rest of my makeup. I still try to keep it light, as I do with all of these foundation reviews. So I did not contour. I did do a little bit of highlighting underneath my eyes because I didn't feel like this foundation actually concealed enough underneath my eyes for me. I do like the application of it and all of that. I do feel like it's not really a full coverage as I was expecting it to be. It's more along like the medium to full coverage I can see. In terms of how it applied with the beauty blender, I think I might actually like the application of it with the brush a little bit better, just because it doesn't soak up as much of the product. And if I'm using this, it's saying that it's full coverage. I actually want it to give me like more of a full coverage look. So I definitely say if you want to get almost to that full coverage look that it claims to give you, that using the brush would be a lot better. In terms of like underneath my eyes, I did try to apply a little bit extra under there, and I didn't find that it fully concealed my under eye, like the dark circles that I have. Plus, this shade is like the base shade for my face, so I wouldn't normally use the same color shade as the rest of my face for underneath my eyes because I like that brightening effect in the center of my face. I did already see a little bit of creasing on my forehead up here where it's kind of like settling into those lines if I do things like that. So I know, like, right around here with smiling a lot during the day, sometimes foundation tends to settle there, and since it's already creasing on my forehead, I'm kind of nervous that it's gonna like settle into those areas. But overall, everything else, like the shade was a lot better than the first one that I chose of this foundation. It's gonna be a little bit hard for us darker, like brown skin to deeper skin tones to find your shade in stores because this was actually the darkest shade, and that's the part that is like a bummer to me. It is now currently 11:05 a.m. I'm going to keep this foundation on for the rest of the day. I don't think I'm going to do like a midday check-in how I did on the other video. I'll just see how it goes. Today might be more of a busy day. I'm actually working from home, so I might just end up coming back later tonight and giving you guys my impressions of it. So that's pretty much it for right now. I will see you guys later on tonight. Okay, you guys, I am back. It is now the end of the night and 9:47 p.m. So I've had this foundation on for about 10 hours, which is definitely longer than I normally have foundation on my skin. And this is pretty much what it's looking like right now. I am seeing a little bit of oiliness, but I just realized, like, in the past few months my skin has gotten a lot more oilier than it used to be, so I am pretty much kind of shiny in this area and also right here on the center of my forehead, and that's even after using the Milani Prime Shield face primer, which is supposed to be a mattifying face primer. So overall, like, in terms of this, I don't feel like it really did anything more than what my skin normally does when I use my Nivea Post Shave Men Post Shave Balm. You guys know what the primer that I normally use. I don't feel like this did any better, so I definitely would not really recommend this one. In terms of the foundation itself, this is supposed to be a full coverage foundation. It's supposed to be working as not only a foundation but also a concealer. So I did put some of the foundation underneath my eyes, and I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but if I pull my eyes, like pull the area right here a little bit, it's definitely a lot more creasing than I normally get when just using my concealer underneath there. And I'm not sure if that's just due to me using this underneath my concealer to like test out the whole concealer type thing with this foundation, or maybe I just didn't bake long enough under there. But I'm more so leaning towards the fact that it's because I put this foundation underneath in that area, so it kind of caked up a little bit. In terms of the shine, this foundation doesn't really say that it's supposed to be where it keeps you matte all day or anything like that, although it does say that it's an oil-free formula and it's supposed to be long wearing, but it doesn't really say how long you should be able to wear it. I am having a nice glow. Like, none of my foundation has actually worn off except for around my nose area, which this actually never happens to me. Is the area like right in the crevice of my nose on either side, it's worn off. It may just be because of like the excessive oil there. It's kind of like breaking the foundation down a little bit. But in terms of everywhere else on my face, there's still the same coverage. I don't feel like it's worn off in any way. It's just pretty much too oily for me. Definitely wouldn't say that it's considered to be lightweight at all because it's very thick formula, and I did build it up 2 layers, at least on one side, and use the brush on the other side. I wouldn't say I love this foundation. Definitely, if you want to check it out, go ahead and do so because it is more on the affordable side, especially since it's drugstore. And if you can get it for that $9.99 price, then definitely go for it. But in terms of it for me, I would think this is more of kind of like a light day. If you might only have on foundation for a few hours, then definitely try it out because it did give you that medium to full coverage look, and especially if you color correct underneath this foundation, then you'll definitely be good to go. I did want to talk about the lipstick in the clips before, but I forgot all about doing so. I actually was wearing the Milani Amore matte lip cream in the shade 22 Amore all day long, and as you guys can see, it held up for the most part of the day. I just got back in from eating dinner with a few friends of mine, and I had like crab and shrimp dip, which had a lot of oil in it, and what else did I have? some other things too. So it did wear off a little bit, but it did definitely stain my lips, so you guys can really still see the color. And it is a red color. It looks a little bit less red and vibrant as it did, you know, compared to how it did earlier. These are super long wearing. They're matte lipsticks, but they're really nice and comfortable where it's not too matte. That is it for today's, you know, foundation, primer, lipstick review. I tried to put it all in together because they're all Milani products. Definitely, if you guys enjoyed these types of videos and want to see more of them, give this video a thumbs up and show your girl some love. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and click that subscribe button and join the family as always. And until next time, I will see all of you beauties later. Bye.